Hey guys, my name is Tito. I make videos on personal finance on my other channel. On this channel, I talk about other things like today when I'll be reviewing the new Nollywood film, The Order of Things. The Order of Things is a comedy about Demilade, an avid gamer with no social life whatsoever, who is compelled to date to find a wife so that his engaged younger brother can also get married. Because in their family, it's the order of things for an older brother to get married before his younger brother.
Oh, till he marry by. At least not now.
The Order of Things is the first feature film directed by rapper, now filmmaker, Sidney Esiri, aka Dr. Sid. Now, I'm filming this review on the day that the movie came out, June 10th. Today, June 10th, also happens to be Timini's birthday, and today he had a film that came out on Netflix, Breaded Life, my favorite Nollywood film of 2021. That came out today. You can check my review of that by clicking the card in the corner of the screen, by the way. Today also, he had a film come out on Amazon Prime introducing the Kujus. So on today, June 10th, Timini's birthday, he has a film that came out in the cinemas, a film that came out on Netflix, and a film that came out on Amazon Prime. There's a special grace on that young man's life. Happy birthday, Timini. Anyway, let's talk about his performance in this movie, The Order of Things, as well as the performances, I should say, of the other cast members of the film. Obi Maduegbuna. Now, Obi is actually the star of this movie. He plays Demilade, the socially awkward gamer who is, tasked with finding a wife so that his brother can get married too. And as far as, that nerdy gamer, trope or stereotype goes, I think Obi did a good job. He was believable. The issue I had was with the character, not necessarily with Obi's performance. I feel like the character could have done with a bit more development, a bit more nuance, because there are certain things about the character that were just quite cliche or not necessarily believable. But like I said, this had nothing to do with Obi's performance. It was more about how the character was developed. Fun fact about Obi, by the way, we kind of go way back. We haven't spoken in many years, but we go way back because our moms are friends from church from back in the day. Birthday boy Timini Egbuson, aka Bad Boy T. Luckily in this film, he doesn't play a bad boy, he plays a responsible chap, the younger brother of Obi's character. And it was a good performance. There was nothing necessarily groundbreaking about the performance if you ask me, but I appreciated the efforts Timini put into it with this particular dynamic of being a supportive younger brother, in this film. So yeah, it was okay in that regard, but at the same time, it wasn't like a groundbreaking, moving performance like the one he gave in Breaded Life or in Juju Stories. My homegirl, Tope Olowoniyan, is also in this film. Many of you remember her from her performance in King of Boys, the series. In that, she played Effa's character's wife, and she was also in Dwindle. She's been in a number of movies and TV series, right? In this one, she plays Timini's character's fiancé, and I have to say they're believable as a couple, right? She did a good job. Her performance was okay. Now back to Tope's, not necessarily her performance, but her character / the editing in this film. There's a scene where Tope's character cries in the film, and the problem is that 1 minute we see her, she's clear-eyed, there's nothing going on there, but the next second we see her with red eyes and with tears streaming down her face, and I think that was a lapse on the editing. Crying isn't an instant thing. It happens, progressively. Ideally, I should be mentioning this in things I didn't like about the film, but I felt that the need to say it here because there are lots of other things I want to talk about when I talk about things I didn't like about this film. Now, for the rest of the performances in this film, I'll talk about them rapid fire style, right? Sandra Okunzuwa, she's in this film. I think she played Tayo, who is like a nerd / tech babe, and her performance was okay. She's a potential love interest of Obi's character in this film. And the last film I reviewed, The Wildflower, Sandra Okunzuwa was in it, and I remember saying that I was looking forward to seeing her in other productions, and I'm seeing her in this one, and I wasn't particularly blown away. I felt like so much more could have been done with the character, and I also felt like somebody else would have done a better job playing that character. For some reason, her character was reminding me of Jemima Osunde, maybe because they kind of look alike. But to be honest, I think Jemima Osunde would have done a better job if she played this character in this film. So yeah, I think I'm still yet to be blown away by a Sandra Okunzuwa performance. This is just the second one I've seen, well, since I started taking note of her anyway. Moving on, Adedimeji Lateef, he's in this film as a matchmaker, and I don't think Adedimeji Lateef was the best casting decision for that particular character, that particular role. Because, and no offense to Adedimeji Lateef, he's one of my, one of the best actors we have in Nollywood in his class, right? But I feel that may even have been the issue. It felt like he was operating on like a different frequency from like the other actors. I felt like we could have found somebody else to like function on the same frequency as the other actors in the film. And I am talking about performances, right? If I was talking about characters in this film, it would be a bloodbath because the characters in this film had so many issues with them. But I think Adedimeji Lateef's character had the most issues. There are so many inconsistencies with that character. For example, when we're introduced to him, it seems as if he's a top shot. He's like one of the best matchmakers around. But then later on in the movie, we're led to believe that he's not so good at his job and he has a high failure rate. And also, he just keeps on showing up at certain places just randomly, and it just, lots of things about that character felt quite implausible. So the character just needed a lot of work and development, if you were to ask me. Lilian Afegbai is also in this film. She plays Maria, a potential love interest of Demilade, and Lilian Afegbai is an attractive woman. I don't know much else to say about her. Moving on, Benita mogaji, she's the woman who plays the mother of Obi and Timini's characters, right? She did an okay job. Once again, I didn't have an issue with the performance of the actor. What I had an issue with was the character. I don't think it's plausible or it makes sense that in this day and age, a parent will stop one child from getting married because they want the older child to get married first. With how hard it is to find someone to settle down with these days, it just seems very implausible that a parent would ask that of one of her kids. So that was implausible for me. I know I'm delving into the territory of things I didn't like about this film, so let's expedite things, shall we? Let me talk about what I liked about the movie so that we can talk about what I didn't like about the movie. What I liked, the opening montage was kind of cool. They did like a video game animation type of thing, although that made it hard to actually read the names in the opening credits, but it was cool and it was creative. They also had a few creative camera angles, like one or two in the movie. I appreciated that. The colors in many scenes, or a couple of scenes I should say, kind of popped. And I also liked the fact that, it was kind of different in the sense that the lead character, or the main character I should say, was a gamer. I don't think I've ever seen a Nollywood film where, a main character is a gamer, a professional gamer or whatever. And I think that's largely due to the fact that the director of this film, Dr. Sid, is an avid gamer himself. What I didn't like, the product placement. Five Alive and Bonvita sponsored this movie or whatever, and the Bonvita product placement wasn't that much. I think they only mentioned it or showed it like twice, but the Five Alive product placement, oh my god, you will see it so many times that it will ultimately irritate you at some point. I like juice, I like orange juice. I'm wearing a yellow t-shirt, it's a coincidence, but there was so much Five Alive product placement in this movie that it just really got irritating and distracting at a point. Secondly, the dialogue in this film in a number of places felt a bit cringy. Implausible scenarios, like I mentioned earlier, the premise of the film, a mother telling one of her kids to not get married until her other kid gets married, that itself didn't feel plausible. I felt like they could have worked on that. Maybe she could have tried to convince them or get them to sympathize with her, not that it was just a rule that, look, you can't get married until your older brother gets married. I mean, it's not outlandish if the older brother or older sibling, is seeing someone and has prospects, then you can wait, there's hope, because that very soon that sibling will do the needful. But in this film, the mom could see that this young man had no hope. So why would you delay your other child's, marriage and happiness for some other, for your other child who you don't even know if he actually wants to get married in the first place? And she never even sat down with him to talk to him about settling down or anything like that. I mean, so this just goes back to the premise being implausible and so many other things about this film for me being implausible. Now, another thing I didn't like about this film is the fact that there were two characters in this film that were dating, right? They went on a number of dates for a considerable amount of time, but all of a sudden the woman was unreachable. and the man wanted to go and see her at home to find out what was wrong, but he didn't have her home address. And I found that very implausible, that for two people in this day and age who've been going out on dates, who are getting along, who like each other, who are of marriageable age, that one doesn't know where the other one lived. That felt like a huge lapse in the writing of this movie. Another thing I didn't like was the fact that one character in this film commits like a very huge offense, treasonable, she crossed the line essentially, right, by doing something. And she didn't just offend one person, she offended two people at least. But in the movie they kind of just, brush it off, they sweep it under the rug and they carry on. And I kept on wondering that, look, aren't they going to address this betrayal of trust that this character did? Are we just going to act like nothing happened? There's more to this, what this person did. Are we just going to act like it wasn't like a huge red flag? I didn't like that either. Oh yeah, I didn't like the cameos from the BB Naija ex-housemates in the film. I don't like when filmmakers put these BB Naija people in their movies, because it really does feel like a cop-out to me. Like they're just using these housemates to get their fans to come and see the film. I know it's business and everything, but I feel it still takes away from the credibility of the movie. In conclusion, the fact that there were so many implausible things about this film made it hard for me to enjoy the movie, and I feel like the film did a poor job of treading that fine line between being traditional and being Nigerian, and also infusing like Western elements and Western, thoughts and ideas. And at the end of the day, I feel the movie was now a bit too Western, not even a bit, way too Western and way too foreign for it to really hit home with a Nigerian audience, if that makes sense. Regardless, shout outs to all involved. Shout out to Obi Maduegbuna on his first starring role. Shout out to Dr. Sid on his first feature film. Shout out to the rest of the cast and crew. Hopefully, things will get better as, things move along and with subsequent projects. But if I'm being honest, this film was not really my cup of tea, and I'm curious to see how other people will react to it as they go and see the movie in the days and the weeks to come. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this review. If you enjoyed it, please like it by clicking on the like button just underneath the video. I'm not just saying that to say it, I'm saying it because I mean it. Please click the like button and subscribe to this YouTube channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. I'm really trying to grow this community and grow my numbers on this channel, so you clicking on that red subscribe button would really mean the world to me. On this channel, I don't just do Nollywood movie reviews, I also talk about relationships. If you want to check out some of my awesome relationship videos, you can click the card in the corner of the screen. And I don't just have this YouTube channel, I also have another YouTube channel where I talk about personal finance, saving and investing, because those things are very important. To check that channel out, you can check the description box down below for the link to my personal finance channel. Thank you guys so much for watching for the final time. Happy birthday once again to Timini Egbuson. Congrats to Obi Maduegbuna and Dr. Sid and everyone involved in this movie. Hopefully people will go out and see it and will have better feedback and opinions about it than I did. It really did hurt me to say the things that I said about this film, especially seeing that I have, friends in the movie. But it is what it is. My job isn't an easy job. I can't, because I have a friend in a movie, say that I don't want to, review that film or say how I really feel about that film. I hope everyone, watching understands that, especially those of you who were involved with the project and who are watching this review, because believe it or not, people who are involved in these movies actually watch my reviews. Yeah, let me not say more than that. Thank you guys once again. I will see you in the next one. Take care.